Additional warning, this video does involve child abuse, so it may be disturbing and triggering to some, so viewer discretion is advised. Huntsville, Alabama, November 2016. 29-year-old Sean Cole was no longer with the mother of his young, autistic 11-year-old son. However, he was still in his son's life, and he would go and visit his father on the weekends. When relationships don't work out and there are children involved, sometimes it's the only thing that we can ask for. Sean was now in another relationship. He was with a 20-year-old young woman by the name of Khadijah Moore. During the Thanksgiving holiday weekend, Sean's son would be visiting him in Huntsville, Alabama. During this time, Sean says he found his son in a compromising position with another boy. Sean felt that his son may be gay. Though Sean is not an incestuous man and never had sexual attraction to underage children, he would confide with his girlfriend Khadijah that he thought that his child was gay and he needed her help. He asked her to have sex with his son. He wanted to, quote, straighten him out and keep him on the straight and narrow, end quote. She agreed. According to the trial testimony, Khadijah performed sex acts on the boy along with her making him do the same. He was raped, sodomized, and inappropriately touched. After what would be a terrifying weekend for that child, he returned back home to Georgia. The boy started to behave quite oddly, and he started to ask his mother questions about sex. He confessed, and he told his mother what had happened to him during the Thanksgiving Day weekend with his father's girlfriend. Mom would immediately drive to Huntsville, Alabama, and she would speak to the detectives there. The Huntsville Police Department would charge Sean 2 months later in January 2017. He was brought to the Madison County Jail. Now, bail was set for $750,000 cash only. What happened to Khadijah, I'm sure you're wondering. Well, she was arrested too. However, she was released on bail. She didn't show up at the time for the trial, and she was now a fugitive on the run. Now, while that was going on, the boy did speak with a forensic interviewer. He was asked how he felt during this horrific sexual assault. The boy responded, quote, I was wondering why he's doing this to me. Dad said, tell no one. I failed you. I just told you, end quote. The interviewer had to make him understand that he didn't do anything wrong and that it was not his fault. He thought that, quote, he was the bad guy in this, end quote. It's also added that the boy did not have any interest in other boys. This was going to be a tough case for the jurors to hear. Crimes are always extra tough and distressing when it does involve children. Despite Khadijah's absence, she was still on the run. Her court-appointed attorney said that she was forced by Sean to do these things in order to help him keep his son straight. So the trial did continue without her. She was somewhere and somehow captured, and this sickening couple was finally sentenced. Khadijah LaDonna Moore was sentenced to a term of 30 years in Tutwiler Annex. Now, Sean Brandon Cole, the boy's father, who had also been charged with domestic abuse charges against other girlfriends that he had been involved with, and it's unclear if he was even convicted on any of those cases. But he was sentenced to 35 years at the Limestone Correctional Institute. Unfortunately, this crime is not an isolated case. This happens a lot. During my research, I came across so many different articles, different races. Like I say, it's disgrace in every race. And this little boy who says that he's not gay, and even if he is, doing something like this is not going to change him. It's not going to turn him straight and, quote, keep him on the straight and narrow, end quote. Now, the question that I do have, do you think this sentence was harsh on the father and the girlfriend? Or do you think that they received exactly what they deserved? I'm hoping that wherever this boy is, he should be 20 years old now in 2022, the same age as his father's girlfriend at the time. I'm hoping that he is doing well.